Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory?
Hi friend, don't forget to subscribe, say that you like the video, and also press the bell so that you get notifications every time I make a new video. If you love Heidi, Cherry, and VAYA, or Tucker and Leo stories, you can now get exclusive stories on my Patreon account. Go to the links below the video and you can join Heidi, Cherry, and VAYA Club or the Tucker and Leo Club and get exclusive stories with your names in them. I love you all so much. Enjoy the story. Bye, friend.
Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Lie down in your bed and get comfortable. Make sure that everything is just right in your room. Try and stay still and quiet so you can let your body relax and let go of your busy day. Levi was laid in bed thinking with his eyes closed. It was late at night and he couldn't sleep. He was staring out of his bedroom window, looking at the moonlight coming in. He couldn't actually see the moon, but the light shining from the moon was shining in through his bedroom window, making his room lighter than it normally was. Levi always wanted to be a bird, an owl. How wonderful would it be to be an owl, he would think to himself all the time. Levi had even had experiences where, at times where he'd been half asleep, half awake, he dreamed that he was an owl. It wasn't a dream like a normal dream where you're dreaming and then you wake up and you forget. This was a dream where he felt like he was really an owl. He was awake enough in his mind to recognize that somehow he'd turned into an owl and he was flying through the sky. Levi was hoping that he could do that again this evening. All of the settings, the light coming in through his window, his body being tired, not being able to sleep, all of them were perfect for lucid dreaming. He felt like he was floating just a little bit laid in his bed. Even though his body felt heavy and tired, and his mind was aching for sleep, he still felt that weird sensation that he was floating up and out of his body. Sometimes the sensation and the feeling freaked him out a little bit, and he'd get scared, and then he'd feel heavy again, just heavy, no floaty sensations. But tonight he wanted to float. Tonight he wanted to soar through the sky with the moon. He took a big, deep breath and let his body sink deeper into his bed. really focusing on relaxing his muscles, letting his bones get heavy, letting his mind go blank. He took deep breath after deep breath over and over until he felt that sensation of rising up. At first it felt like tingles throughout his entire body. And then he just had this feeling like he was opening up to it, allowing it to happen. And as he allowed it to happen, the sensation got stronger. And then that's it. That's all it took. The next thing that Levi felt was his wings moving up and down. The sensation as if his arms were expanded way longer than his normal reach. His wings were really big. And they seemed to move and soar through the air around so easily. The sensation of air moving through his feathers felt very keen, felt very acute. In between each saw there was a silence, a pause, a stillness throughout everything he was experiencing. And then his wings would whoosh through the sky once again and repeat the process all over. He felt like he had some kind of headband on. He saw in his mind's eye that the headband came to a point in the middle of his forehead. It laid over his third eye. It felt like a bone in the shape of a V that went down as if it went down in between his eyebrows. Of course, real owls don't wear headbands. But Levi, as an owl, was wearing some sort of headdress that looked like a V pointing down towards his nose. He felt like a warrior as an owl, strong, majestic, and very powerful. As he flew through the sky, it was completely effortless. He didn't feel as if he had to breathe, as if he had to think. It just all flowed naturally. He started to fly towards the moon. He realized at one point that his legs were strong, bigger than he thought owls' legs were. They looked more like turkey legs. The muscles on his legs were big and strong, and his claws, wow, his talons were so long, they looked like vicious weapons. It was like he felt like he was half man, half owl, elongated, muscular, but very owl-like at the same time. He didn't put too much thought into this because it just felt natural. Like he'd been this being, whatever it was, before. And as he flew through the sky, he felt like he owned the world down below. Like he knew everything about everyone. an inside encyclopedia on every single person sleeping down below in the world. He had a bird's eye view of their life, what was happening in their life, and why it was happening to them. He felt like he was a flying god, a deity of sorts. Maybe he was like the monkey Hanuman, or maybe he was Shiva or Shakti, or maybe he was God himself, Source, the universe, all of white light. Whatever he was, he liked the feeling of having this bird's eye view of knowing inside wisdom about all the people who lived down there, everyone that was sleeping, everyone that was up working. It was like he could see their lives and why they were living and how they were living and all the reasons why. But this just flooded through his brain quickly. It wasn't like he had to think about it. It was like as he flew over something, he felt it, he absorbed it. He read it like a book and then moved on to the next thing. And the next. And the next. He purposely tried to fly even closer to the moon. But no matter how much he soared up towards that bright silver light, it seemed to still be millions and millions of miles away. And the distance between him and the moon caused him a pain in his chest. Maybe moon was home. Maybe that's why he felt what he felt. And as he was thinking about home, his planet, wherever he was from, he kept hearing the word Arcturus, Arcturus, Arcturus. It felt like it was part of his body, part of his blood. There was nothing else in the sky that night, just Levi. It was like he had free range of the world. The entire world was his. He noticed that his wings never got tired, like your arms would get tired if they were trying to fly like this. But his wings didn't get tired. He could feel his owl heart beating in his chest. It was very fast, but this felt normal. He wasn't worried. In fact, the speed of his heart felt comforting, like someone was there with him flying through the sky. And in the background, he kept hearing Arcturus, 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 as if someone just like himself was out there calling to him, calling him home, somewhere up there behind the moon, or even on the moon. He wasn't sure, but he knew that they were connected. Levi opened his eyes and found himself laying in his bed. He reached his left hand up and put it in front of his face and looked at his hand. No longer talons, no longer wings, just fingers and fingernails. He took a big deep breath and sighed, very grateful for the experience that he just had. He was hopeful that it would happen again, someday soon. The end.